Now, as you know, the New York Mets are in full sell mode, they traded Max Scherzer, they traded Dave Robertson, Eduardo Escobar about a month ago as I do this video. But what they have done is they brought in a lot of minor league talent to improve a very, very middling farm system and foundation. The Mets' key, and every team's key, to have a winning culture and a winning organization is to have a strong foundation. And the best way to do that is to create a good farm system. The Mets are beginning to do that over the last 2 years. They have done an excellent job in the 2022 draft. They did an excellent job this year in the 2023 draft. And with these players now that they are bringing in from other teams, and they're going to be bringing in more, we'll see if they are able to trade Justin Verlander. Hopefully we'll get to see what they get in return for Tommy Pham, Mark Canha, possibly Brooks Raley, Adam Ottavino, and who else knows who else. But I'm going to talk about in this video from MetsMinors.net, another great website dedicated to the Mets minor league system. And they did an article the other day called Mets Improved Farm System, a Repurposing. So far, the New York Mets have traded Eduardo Escobar, David Robertson, and Max Scherzer. These trades have made the obvious very clear. The Mets are sellers at the trade deadline. With the trades, it's apparent the Mets are doing all they can to maximize the returns to get the best prospects possible. In the Escobar and Scherzer trades, the Mets retain a significant portion of each player's remaining contract. That is the key to the Mets improving their farm system, by the way. It's the money they're investing in, bringing in all this talent from these other teams. So far, the Mets have obtained the following prospects: Coleman Crowe, part of the Escobar trade; Landon Marceau from the Escobar trade; Marco Vargas from the Robinson trade; Ronald Hernandez from the Robinson trade. I would mention Marco Vargas and Ronald Hernandez both played today for the Mets Florida Complex team, and they both did well. They both had 2 stolen bases. Vargas went 3 for 5. Hernandez went 1 for 1. With and of course, they got from the Scherzer deal from the Rangers, Luis Angel Acuna. With Vargas and Acuna, the Mets have added 2 top 100 caliber prospects. With the collection, they significantly improved their top 30 prospects. There's more to come as well. It's been expected that Mark Canha and Tommy Pham, with their expiring deals, Canha has a team option. Teams like the Houston Astros are making a push to obtain Justin Verlander. We've also heard through rumors the LA Dodgers and someone on the periphery, the Cincinnati Reds, and there are people believing that the Baltimore Orioles should make that move as well. I did not notice about Verlander. He's from the Virginia area. It has begun questions as to what direction the Mets are taking. Pete Alonso has publicly noted if Scherzer can get traded, then anyone can. Brandon Nimmo said he would have to talk to the organization about their future. Well, they're not going anywhere. Scherzer had made statements very similar to Nimmo, and the next day he was traded. However, with respect to Alonso and Nimmo, there is substantially no speculation that they will be traded. Now, Nimmo is at the beginning of an 8-year deal. He's not going anywhere. Mets front office love him. And yet, with Cohen now using his financial might to rebuild the farm instead of pushing for a World Series, there's active speculation the Mets are on the verge of a rebuild. With that speculation in the recent deals, Mets general manager Billy Epler, and I would mention about Billy, he has a scouting background. And last year, he refused to trade Mets prospects for guys on expiring contracts and older veterans. He answered questions from reporters. During the season, he said, quote, during the session, he said, quote, "It's not a rebuild, it's not a fire sale, it's not a liquidation. It's repurposing of Steve's investments in the team." Epler would go on to say, generally, with clubs that are going to go through a rebuild, you have to endure 5, 6, 7 years of losing. And we don't have the appetite for that. We're not going to do that. What we want to do is use Steve's investment and enhance this farm system and get us to our larger goal. That is to strengthen the foundation. Of note, Epler said he anticipates the Mets will have a competitive team in 24. Of course, that is open to interpretation, and does not indicate who will not be traded. Overall, the Mets farm system has been significantly improved. and it may be improved further at the trade deadline. That is because the Mets are repurposing Cohen's money at this trade deadline. In other words, they're taking the money, they spent $36 million that they're taking in on contract for Scherzer, and they're basically getting it for Acuna. And the money that they used to trade Escobar, they brought in Crowe and they brought in Marcel. Now, they did this flexing deal with Trevor Gott. That hasn't worked out yet. That you can sort of, but that's a major league deal. But the one thing that an owner who is capable, an owner that is capable of spending money, the one thing they can do is allocate a lot of that money into the farm system and into the foundation of a team. The Braves seem to be very good at that. Just use them as an example. They may not have like gigantic contracts with their major league players in terms of money and years, but they seem to figure out how to use that money that they have into their farm system. That is the key to any winning team, is your farm system. We've seen this with the Mets in the past. When the Mets have been good, 2015 is a good example. All the pitching that they developed was from the farm system, except for Zach Wheeler, who was through a trade, but he was developed in the Mets system as well, along with Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, Matt Harvey, Steven Matz, Jeurys Familia, Robert Gsellman, and of course Seth Lugo. These guys were able to develop in the Mets farm system, and either to trade, or they drafted them, or they signed them as an undrafted free agent. They developed them over the years, they brought them up, and they were able to win a pennant with that group in 2015. We can go back further, but that's not necessary for this video, but that's how important it is to build up your farm system. And we're seeing that now. Hopefully, the Mets will get some very good results over the next year or two. We mentioned about Acuna. He will be making his debut with the Mets on Tuesday for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. And he's not far away. He might get called up. He might get a promotion to AAA before the season's over down there in the minor leagues. But we will keep an eye on that. So let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.